It's BJ Balls, our comedy podcast.
Benny's on his fucking sound effects again.
Yes, I am.
So you know we've started.
Yes, we have.
Please welcome to the show our special guest, Mr. Gavin Ingham.
Yes, welcome.
Woo!
He's spilling the coffee.
Oh, I spilt my tea when I was the only one clapping for myself. It's a bit like my comedy career.
We'll get into that. How you been?
Oh man, weird. I've been very weird. Hang on, just gotta clean up my tea.
Beards are good for that.
Yeah,
So
man.
for later.
It's well, I've actually got a beard. I'm looking a bit like Red Kelly. I see an orange red beard at the moment. That's been about the. I'm just looking in the at the screen here. It's fucking huge. That's been the thing. That's it. That's what I've been doing. Is having a beard. Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll see you next time. That's it. That's all. I've got nothing to bring.
We'll see how long it gets. Yeah. No, you've been keeping busy. You got your own podcast going.
Yeah, my little video show, something to put on IMDb. Bump up the IMDb account.
Nice.
We all need to do that. Tell us about it.
Well, I went to Adelaide Fringe and did a couple of gigs over there, and in early March, and got back, and then I work in sport a lot of my income. So I'm a ground announcer at Marvel Stadium for the AFL and other events, and AFLW down at Moorabbin, and court announce for basketball, and run a historical walking tour about football. And I got back, and within the space of I stopped off at McDonald's to get a cafe at Horsham, and there was a sign, handwritten sign at McDonald's, saying we're not doing keep cups because of COVID, Corona back then it was called. And I was like, what the fuck? This is all a bit bizarre. And then got back in 3 days. Within about 2 days later, in about 5 hours, I got all the emails, all the phone calls saying all your works, all sport is. NBA went down, and then all other sporting leagues followed. And
Yeah, shit.
yeah, so then I was a bit concussed for about 2 weeks. And another comedian that we all know, Gavin Semple, the lesser of the two Gavins, me and him.
The three Gavins.
Yeah, not his quality or his standing as a human. I'm saying he's quite skinny, you know. So, g'day, Gav, if you're listening.
Gav doesn't listen to this. He's on TikTok.
No, he's still on TikTok. He's killing TikTok. He's still doing gigs. There's no gigs available, but he's doing it. He got
Well,
me.
he still looks 13, so it's acceptable. Yeah.
He got me on a little live Instagram show one night, and we were just talking shit and workshopping some of his jokes and whatever. And then I had this idea for this podcast for about a year or two. Really fascinated about people who love sport or a sporting team, and people who also have a craft in their life. And for me, those things cross over. So if I have a bad gig, I tell a joke that just doesn't land, and it should have landed, and it's landed every other time except for tonight for some reason.
We've all done that. Yeah.
Exactly. I think, oh man, I just got to put a bit more effort on the training track. It's always next week. It's always next season, and draw from sport. And there's quite a few people I know that was similar. So I thought, fuck it, you know, I'm probably definitely going to get nobody watching. So I don't care.
Fucking attitude.
Well, exactly. Well, a massive budget I put into advertising, zero, then of course. But I didn't care. I just thought, no, I'm really interested in this. Got a lot of time spare on my hands. And PlayStation has started getting a bit boring. And so yeah, I started doing it. I've been doing it for about 8 weeks now. I've been interviewing mainly comedians, but not necessarily comedians. People just interesting, you know, have a chat. It's not about being funny, it's about expressing your stupid love for sport. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What is your favourite sport?
Well, basketball. Grew up in the 90s, NBA, so there's a lot of stats in my head that I know about basketball. So The Last Dance that was out as well. That was a good ad break, a good...
I actually watched that. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Because you're not a sports fan.
No, I'm not, and I don't know why I enjoyed it.
Why did you watch it too? Did you enjoy it?
The girl I'm seeing at the moment was watching it. She goes, "Yeah, you should check this out. It's fucking awesome." I was like, "I hate sport." And she goes, "No, just watch it." And I was fucking hooked from like the first 5 minutes, and I don't know. I still can't tell you why.
No, it's Jordan, mate. He just brings you in. He's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool to see something behind the scenes of someone who is the best of what they do. But I still can't tell you why I watched it. Like, I've got no idea.
Why you stuck around for 3, 4, 5 episodes?
Yeah, fucking how many episodes?
You liked him
Five.
because he was a prick. That's what you liked.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We all saw the
Yeah, he kind of had an iron fist. Yeah, just like fucking my way or the highway.
That's it.
I've heard about your comedy room. You punch people in the face. It's like job.
Not me. People do get punched though. It's not like it's usually punters, but
Big hello to Michael Jordan if he's listening.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, MJ. No, it was just.
Fucking watch that MJ shit, bro.
Oh yeah, fuck, yeah. Not the pedophile, the other one. No, it was. It put a weird perspective on shit. Because, like, I remember, I saw something on Facebook like, oh man, Scottie Pippen was so hard done by, blah, blah, blah. And then they were talking about his wages and shit. And then, what was he on? Something like $2 million a year as opposed to 6? It's like, you got $2 million a year for playing sport. Like, that's fucked. Like,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Like, it just kind of blew my mind a little bit that, like, yeah, okay, like, you know, 6 is better than 2 depending on what it is, but it was just like, wow, like you can make that much money from playing sport. I don't know, it just did my head in a little bit.
And statistically, he's not that great. He was awesome for Jordan, but statistically, he's not up there with the greats. But as far as his influence on the court and that team, his position is what he did on that team is not a question. He's amazing. But interesting you say perspective. Like you go, man, these sports people are getting $2 million a year. That's a lot of money. And Jordan, just from Chicago Bulls, his contract for playing basketball was towards the end. He would take a year contract at a time, and he'd be getting $32 million in a year, a season in the 90s. And that's not including shoe sales. And you go, oh, that's a lot of money. But $2 million is a lot of money. Oh, this is crazy. These people get all this money. And it's just the perspective thing. I'm of the opinion that, yeah, they should get that money because what they bring to the organisation is a lot more money, so they should get a share of it. But at the same time, the perspective, cut all the shit. I'm just like, and doctors and teachers and important people that make society run get $5. Fuck that shit. No, Jordan, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to fight me, I'll fight you. I'm not saying I'll win, but
yeah, he's got good reach.
Yeah, that's right. 6'6". But as far as perspective, in the context, yeah, that's deserved. But out of context, it's like, what the fuck is in the 90s? $32 million a year.
I can't get my head around like where the fuck does that money come from? Is it all sponsorship? Like, is it all advertising? Yeah. Is it all?
No, back then it would have been for sure, definitely. I mean, even now, you see it now, even with the AFL and shit. AFL's going backwards. That's what I reckon, anyway.
Well, here we go.
Well, I think they are.
Do we have a sound effect for that?
What, going backwards?
Well,
this is for Eddie Maguire. Where is it? Wait a minute. Here we go.
Oh, he's.
They're going backwards. I don't care what anybody says. They've lost the. It was like last night. I was watching what is it? Fucking.
Don't look at me.
Fucking classified, footy classified.
Oh yeah, that's.
And Eddie turns around and goes, "Oh, we should have a ball with dimples on it. The guys can't mark the ball anymore." Well, I don't know. Back in my day when I played football,
it was fine.
I don't know. The ball was fucking heavy as fuck, waterlogged as fucked. You couldn't kick it with your fucking leather boot anyway.
Yeah, it's fair for
break your foot.
Yeah, you break your foot.
Looked like it was made out of wood. It was that leather.
Yeah. And now he's going, let's put some dimples on it because these fucking idiots can't fucking mark a ball anymore. Yeah, nah, sorry.
But it's also like
train them better.
Your player can't mark the ball, but neither because the ball's slippery or whatever.
Yeah.
But neither can anyone else. So it's fair. Like, what's the point?
I don't get it. But what pissed me off is like he's dying for advertising. So it's all about advertising and that. He says, "Oh, we should get rid of the advertising on the ball because that's making it slippery." Like the actual whoever advertised fucking the football, Macca's,
Toyota or something.
Yeah. And it's just retarded. It's just like, well, no, the players have become so fucking soft.
Yep.
In a game that was fucking hard back in the day. And we all know this. I mean,
it's harder than NFL and rugby and
fuck
shit.
Yeah.
You only played 3 years because you were dead during the 4th season.
I mean, I'm in my 40s, so I know a few guys that have played for the Doggies and shit like that back in the day, and they didn't have long fucking careers. Like I say, they got injured, they played fucking hard football.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, you can't touch them, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's become so...
Pussy.
Yeah, it's just not enjoyable. Like, I used to love going to the football. Mate, I'd go, I don't know, Nell would sit 3 fucking, seats down from me, some old bird, and fucking pop the umbrella, take that cunt down! And I'd lose me shit. And that was football, you just get into it, you'd yell, you'd scream. And I wouldn't kick the shit out of anybody, but I'd get into it, a couple of beers, you run a bit of a mark. And now it's just like, you can't say this, you can't offend this, you can't offend this guy, you can't do this. It's like, nah. Football for me is like, it's lost its flavour, it's lost that, you need that, you need that biffo, you need a bit of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking they got to punch on or anything, but a bit of the biffo.
Consequences for certain actions.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's what's lost. And I think a lot of sports, I mean, and like you were saying about playing some of these players exorbitant fucking money. Your Ronaldos, your fucking Messis, all that sort of shit. And you sit there and you go, what the fuck, bro? It's like, you're getting all these bloody massive players. Yes, don't get me wrong, best in the world. Yes, I agree with that,
But it's still $32 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking money.
And a school in their country is a school or a hospital in their country gets blown up or broken or can't get fixed, and like he gives $500,000. It's great.
Yeah,
Shows a bit of perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the perspective thing too. It's interesting that a lot of people switched off from AFL. Like I had all my work cut, and I worked in AFL, and when it comes back, hopefully I'll be back there. But I was of the opinion, we should shut it down because this COVID thing's pretty big, and who knows how big it is, and it's quite real, it seems. Yeah. And I was like, I'm sacrificing. I'm not kicking up a stink at all, even though I've lost 100% of my income. Yeah. And then how in the news and these footy shows came back and they had nothing to talk about except, did you see on Twitter someone said something might be happening about someone else on Twitter because this other Facebook post, he had this Instagram thing, fuck, what are we talking about? I don't know, footy? Yeah, fucking footy. It just lost all relevance and people were like, Eddie's complaining like no one should ask for their membership money back, and people were saying, I can't afford to eat noodles, mate.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's getting angry, he's very entitled, and so it was very interesting recently how perspective about sport and in this stupid hub of, I love football, but this stupid hub of.
But it's the media. Melbourne. It's the media of the media organisation.
They need to sell newspapers.
Yeah, they need to sell their fucking, Foxtel or whatever they're selling, and you see it's them. Like I reckon half the footy players would go, nah, let's call this what it is this year. It's fucked. It's done. Let's play next year. And you can see it, like they don't want to be there. They don't want to play now. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, we've got to fucking get it out there. And you can see it. Even the die-hard footy fans are like, I don't want to watch this. You know what I mean?
Stay home and cook food.
Yeah, it's like I'm not interested because it's like comedy. You haven't got that atmosphere. And once you lose that atmosphere,
the need for it.
Yeah, it's like if you're not feeling it, I just love it. You go there, you get the goosebumps. You fucking pumped. You get going, the crowd's going, everybody's going, and then it just sort of dies out, and it's like nothing. And you're hearing that, and I think I was watching the Collingwood Richmond game. I didn't watch a lot of it, but that was canned fucking sound in the background, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, I'd rather watch them do the, like in training sessions on a Thursday night or whatever it is, macca, ball. I'd rather that than that bullshit of,
like imagine hearing that. Imagine hearing a full-blown AFL game and it's the best of the best playing, and you're like an up-and-comer player. You're trying to get into a team, or you're in the VFL or something like that, you're trying to get better, and you see an insight into that's how they communicate, that's how they do it, that's how I can get your attention from the other end of the ground, and all that sort of shit. Like, I kind of thought the whole thing was fucking stupid, but I can't remember his name. I'm not a sports guy. I played footy for a little bit as a kid and that, but like, some I think he was a Richmond player who was kicking up a fuss because he was going to get quarter of his pay docked.
Oh, yeah.
Please chip in if you know who the
I
fuck
don't know
it
who,
is,
I think it was a few of them.
But they were on like, on the radio news they were saying like they're on 90 90 grand a year or something bigger than that, and they were complaining about losing a quarter of it. It's like, fuck man, I'm basically on minimum wage. If you can't live off 80 something a year, what the fuck are you doing wrong?
Yeah, but that's like the players that start out, they're on about 100 grand.
Exactly.
Some were 500 to 900 grand, and they're losing an eighth or a quarter or 15%, and it's some people haven't seen the amount that they're losing or not getting or sacrificing. Some people, a lot of people in this world, haven't seen that amount of money in their life.
Yeah, or a year. Yeah, like, it's fucking like I put it that like
Monopoly.
I can't. I just can't feel sorry for them. Like I
Totally.
understand people love sport. Like I love heavy metal, yeah, but it's not for everyone, right? I love all sorts of music. It's not for everyone, so they wouldn't understand. You know, oh well, fuck that. Right? I totally get it. I lost all sympathy for anyone in a sports team when, like, you get paid that much, but then you're complaining about losing that little compared to what you get for doing something that you did in primary school. Like, you kick a ball at fucking lunch.
Yeah.
Like, perspective, man. Like, fucking perspective.
And for me, who was like, most of my work, a big portion of my income comes directly from AFL.
Yeah, you're a worker.
I'm not a player, and I'm not. No one knows. I don't have a footy card with my name on it.
No.
But I've lost 100%.
Yeah.
And the total amount of that 100% is minuscule compared to a proportion of what they're getting.
Someone gets for wearing a jumper.
It's retarded.
I feel bad for the people behind the scenes, such as yourself, and you know the umpires and whatever
and
else.
The women's game too. That got stung really badly.
How so?
Oh, just they had games cancelled, and just in all the sacrifice, the women's game doesn't have as much. Which that's a different conversation. I'm not saying. There's reasons for that, and it's a new thing, and it's not as supported. But the amount that they lost had a bigger effect on their game and what they could do. Because a lot of them aren't professional anyway, in the sense that they do it full time. They still have jobs that they have to do, and sacrifice months of their career to go and play football, and then get misogynistic assholes kind of shitting on them. But like we're saying about the men, they'd have to sacrifice. That's a lot of money that they've sacrificed, but proportionally, their lives haven't been affected as much. And I'm not saying all of them, of course. I don't know every one of them, but it did more damage. Didn't do as much damage to the men's game. Just the women's game was struggling as it was.
It's something the women's play footy. I'm just fucking with you, of course I know that.
No comment.
No, but even that, like when they brought that in with the women playing footy, which is awesome, and I reckon it's fucking great. Because if you've got a little daughter or whatever, you got to.
I don't care about men's footy. Why would I give a shit
No,
about
but
women's
what I'm
footy?
saying, but they actually that was brought back. That was bought for the punter, because the punter started going to the footy, couldn't afford to go to the footy anymore. The old days of going to the footy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like you go to
Suburban
Windy
grounds.
Hill, the
Vic
Western
Park.
Oval, Vic Park,
Princess
wherever.
Park.
Yeah, you go to all these different places, and you could actually sit around, enjoy it with your family. It wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas now you
Kick after the game.
Yeah. Whereas now you can't get on the ground. You can't fucking. You're paying like $30-40 to get in, or whatever the fuck it is these days.
$10 for chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shit. You cannot afford it. The people can't afford this shit.
Yeah.
And the people that are real die-hard footy fucking fans, I can guarantee you there'll probably be about 20% that can fucking really come from the echelon of affording shit to the hard-going fucking, I can't afford this shit, but I still love my football because my grandfather's great-grandfather, grandfather watched the game. And that's the sad part about it all. And you see it, and it's just for those fucking, and when I watch it, and you see those people like, Eddie Maguire's, and I'm a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah, same.
But
I'm
I
sorry to hear that.
fucking hate him.
He's a fuck.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I
affected
literally
by this.
hate, somebody should just get rid of him. And I mean, like, get rid of him.
The dictator.
It's like, no, but he's got this ability to fucking, it's all about his media bullshit.
Yeah.
It was like last night. No word of a lie. They were talking about the football. And what do you think? What's his name? Fucking.
Who was on Kane Corns or Lloyd?
Lloyd and the coach from.
Ross Lyon.
Ross Lyon. What do you guys think about the ball? And what was your best highlight? So they're talking about the highlight. Then they couldn't handle it but not ask Eddie Maguire what his best highlight was in media.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're taking the piss, bro. We're talking... Like, I actually got shitty. I went, fuck this, I'm going for a smoke.
That'd be through his media company, wouldn't it? Maguire Media?
Probably. I don't know who runs that.
It's just this attempt to make him one of the boys who's had a lived experience of footy, when all he was a die-hard Collingwood supporter, grew up in Broadmeadows. He earned his stripes. He made his teas and coffees in the newspaper, and he rode out to Vic Park and got the scoops. And he's apart from every 5 months, every 5 years, accidentally says something racist or something like that. He's pretty good at his job.
No, I don't take away from his job.
He's not one of the boys.
He's not one of the boys.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. It's like, and then you see him trying to kick the ball and grabbing the ball, and it's just like, mate, bro, just fucking let it go.
Yeah.
No, but the thing about the ball, like when I stopped playing footy when I was 15, I think. It was too bad for my temper. Like, I was bashing punts. My last game, I was the guy. I didn't have a position, right? I was the guy because I was a fucking beefcake compared to the other 15-year-olds. So I had fucking short fuse as shit, right? So I didn't have a position. So if there was someone who was really good, I'd follow them, but not a tagger. If there was someone like, and in the division I was in, this is just club footy. I don't know what you call it. It wasn't. There was no sponsors, nothing like that. It was just you all wore the same jumper and you had training once or twice a week. There was a few teams that were like fucking brilliant. Our team won 2 games over 2 years. Like, we were that shit, right? And there was always some there was always some smart ass dude. I never kicked a goal when I played, right? I was always just roaming around.
You just kicked ass.
Yeah, no, I was really good at tackling because I fucking hated people, right?
He was the goon.
Yeah, the goon. Yeah, I've seen that movie. That's a fucking great movie. Yeah, I was the goon. Right, that's a great way.
Waterboy, Adam Sandler.
Hey, Waterboy, you're a retard. Yeah, no. So I was a Powerade guy, not a Gatorade guy. Anyway, so there was always a smart ass on the other team who would always be like, "You guys gonna win today or what?" And then that
you had on the list. He's on the list.
Yeah, no shit. So you tell
number 15.
You tell Benny, the coach, that this guy said something to you about winning, and then the coach would tell me, "Oh,
what number?
23." Yeah, and then so I just followed 23 around, try and put him out of business.
Yeah.
My last game, I broke some cunt's ribs because I spear tackled him into a post.
Yeah.
And my mum pulled me aside and was like, "I don't think you can do this anymore."
It wasn't even a post on the ground. You took him off the ground, around the corner, found a string post, bam.
He just got rid of the ball and put him out, so I still tackled him. But yeah, I was getting into punch-ons, all sorts of shit. It was not good for my health, or anyone else's. But yeah, it was fun. But
did you have heavy metal? Were you a metalhead back then?
Yeah.
Did you have metal going through your head on the ground?
That's before I got into the real heavy shit, because music took over. Once I heard Metallica's Ride the Lightning, I was like, I want to do that. So like, I really, really tried playing guitar once I heard Ride the Lightning and Black Sabbath's Paranoid and all that
But
sort
when
of
you're
shit.
chasing them down on the field, you like Pantera.
This is before Pantera for me, but yeah, it was probably like Love Gun by Kiss, which sounds probably a bit homosexual because I'm tackling a dude, but it was like, Love Gun by Kiss was the hardest song I knew at the time, so that was like, got him, yeah, he's down, but yeah, it was fun as shit, but, yeah, fuck yeah. I never put anyone shorts down and did a Melman Inga or anything like that, but
you just made them sit on top of the goalpost.
Oh man, I fucked people up. It was amazing. And then I got put in a few seniors games to do the same thing. Got my ass kicked, like trying to tackle dudes like Benny size, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, it just didn't make sense.
But that's what made you back in the day when you play that and you go to the senior level. And you're just crossing over.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, you killed it in
16s and
16s and shit, and they're like, no, you go on the next level. You go to the next level, And then there's Macca there, fucking covered in tats. G'day, son, I'm going to kick your fucking ass today. Oh, it's going to be fun.
It's under 18s, and he's just gotten out of prison for beating for 25 years, and he's under 18s.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to beat one of my kids' friends, so I was going to beat you instead. Yeah, no, but my point of that story was my dad always used to say, because my dad's a massive cricket dude, like he played district, shield, all that sort of shit. He played for Australia a couple of times. All that sort of
Serious?
stuff. Yeah, his best mate was Paul Rifle.
Oh, wow.
Still is, yeah. He's got Ian Healy's fucking baggy green. He's got one of Shane Warne's trophies because he used him as a doorstop when he went to his house one day. Like, do you want it? I don't fucking want it. Like, gave it to him and shit. Jeez. So my dad's mates with all those guys, right? Played with Flemmo's brother.
Just Damien Fleming. Yeah.
Like, I grew up around.
That was a peak era too.
Yeah, exactly. So my dad knew all those guys. Like my first bit of cricket gear when I played cricket was a mixture of my dad's pads and gloves, Paul Rifle's stuff, and I had Paul Rifle's Gray Nicholson. Dad had to shave it down a little bit because it was too fucking long. But that was lifting another kid to try and hit a six. Like, it was so fucking heavy. But I wish I still had that bat. That was a good fucking bat. I'd probably still play cricket if I had that. But the point of that story was, like, Dad was always like, now, the one thing you got to remember about footy is it's all about the ball. I was like, well, yeah, obviously, I need to get the fucking ball and kick a goal. He goes, no, not that. It's the shape of it. That's what makes it magic.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where it's going to go.
Exactly.
It's not soccer. If I booted at Benny and he misses, I know it's going straight that way, and you're going to get it. But and that's why it shits me. You got some fucking pompous cunt who has never played a game in his life. We should put dimples on it.
Yeah.
What the fuck would you know? And then it brings it back to, the ball's heavy, you can't mark it, I sure as fuck can't mark it, it makes it interesting. And the wet games were the fucking best.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's black from the mud.
Oh, the wet games were the shit, yeah. Oh, yeah, I slid into his ribs, my bad. Yeah,
yeah, but they'll turn you around and go, it was a bit dewy.
Yeah, was that a bit weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's been dewy for the last 150 years. It's a winter game.
I couldn't work it out.
We need to close the roof because it's drizzling. No, fucking let it rain, you bitch.
No, that's for TV, because the light of the TV, the sun's on the ground and the shadows on the ground and the camera's panning across and has to change.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, because it's all about money, money and sponsorship these days. But you're saying it's it's interesting. I had a different kind of funny experience. I took my partner, been together about a year now, and AFLW was coming back early this year, and I was a bit more into it this year because I did some ground announcing for St Kilda, and it was some amazing stories were coming out, and Collingwood were playing Carlton at Princess Park, and I was like, oh, this is great. And what's great about it is everyone's very nice at AFLW, but 5 seconds after the ball bounce, the players are jumper punching, and it's Carlton versus Collingwood, and it's just fuck, it's just fuck you, and it's all on for young and old, and I got to take my partner and her two girls, 11 and 15 years old, and just seeing these two young girls looking up, not just like, oh, he's awesome, he's an awesome player, I love this club, but they were looking at these players, and you could see in their eyes, they're like, I could play for this club, wow. And I'm thinking, oh, they're shit, they can't play, they're uncoordinated, these kids. But that's not the point. It was a really weird experience seeing this, and then we got to have kick to kick afterwards. And not long after that, the youngest one, 11 years old, she said to me, I want to play football, and so she's trying to ask me how to hip and shoulder and technique, because I'm a towering 5'8" on a good day. So I've had to use other tactics in physical altercations in the sporting arena. Usually my mouth to get me in and out of trouble and cause do my best work on the field. So I was teaching her how to. She's not that tall either. I was teaching her how to hip and shoulder and technique and stuff like that. And if you punch him in the bum, when's a good time to do all these things. And she said, teach me how to kick. And so we'd kick the ball some days after school before Corona hit. And then one night she's like, "Oh, teach me how to kick." And I said, "Well, we don't have a football. We're not going to kick in the house. We're going to get in big trouble. We're going to smash a painting or something, or knock something, a vase down or something." And then she said, "You need something like the shape of a football." And I was, part of me is like, "Oh, I'm tired. It's night time. Just eaten 15 kilos of spaghetti bolognese. I want to watch stupid TV." No, we're not going to do it. So I fob her off with a really hard challenge she can't overcome. She comes back with this football-shaped thing and says, "We can use this." And I looked at it, and it was a pack of tampons. Libra Fleur. And I was like, you know what? That is actually kind of like a shape of football. And so we're there up and down the hallway, kicking Libra Fleurs to each other. And I'm teaching a technique on how to kick, and I'm just like, this is, man, like how much time has changed. And they weren't hers, they were her sisters. They were her sisters.
Probably hurts just as much when they're wet.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah, sister was was just all embarrassed because it was hers.
No.
And she and we kicked it, and I kicked it a bit too hard, and the tampons went everywhere. It's just a weird experience, and I was just like, man, times have changed when it comes to footy.
What a stepdad. That's brilliant.
Well, I thought, am I a stepdad now? I'm kicking one of the kids' tampons around, and
you're meeting some criteria there.
yeah, and like it was weird. But the kicking technique's coming on. It's good to see. Good to see. Fuck Eddie Maguire.
I can't stand when I did have to go longer than 5 minutes to work, I used to just put morning radio on because you get the news.
Triple M.
Yeah, I listened to Triple M because they had Mick Malloy on it. He was fucking hilarious on it, and then fucking he's better than Will Anderson. God, that cunt puts me to sleep. But
G'day, Will, if you're listening.
He won't. He's not on my list of big names I want to do a show with, so I'm not worried. But I just found fucking, no matter what it was, Eddie'd have a fucking way of mentioning Collingwood.
Yeah.
Like, any time, like a restaurant caught fire, and it's like, no shit, it'd be like a restaurant caught fire, and be like, "Oh, me and the boys used to go there."
Which boys?
A place like that.
The Collingwood boys.
Yeah, fuck me. It's like, we had a board meeting once at a restaurant.
It was basically him, Quartermain, and fucking what was the name of that chick? What was it?
Journo?
Journo.
The one that got hit on by
Sam Lane.
Chris, what's his name?
That fucking, what was the name? Fuck me.
Oh.
The Journo, Duclos.
Oh, Bridget Duclos.
Bridget Duclos. That was their little fucking cloney group, mate. Back in the day at the Revs, fucking... Get fucked. They're not that much older than me. I mean, they're a little bit older, but, there they are. They're all fucking sitting there acting all cool. Get fucked.
I just can't. I just don't get the mentality of any fucking topic. Like, no matter how good or bad it was, he could always swing it back to Collingwood, and then the other presenters started picking him on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that to Eddie.
No, I can't listen to him anymore.
Shit half the time.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, that's what we've done for the past 30 minutes, spoken about Collingwood.
What's he going to do? Buy my podcast so you can close it. Yeah, go on. Just make another one, you rich motherfucker. Like, who knows?
We've spoken about Collingwood, can't help it. Let's talk about other non-Collingwood related
Oh,
things.
hang on. No, there's one more. The fucking kicker. So, when I used to listen to Triple M in the morning was when I worked at Toyota, right? It was an hour and a half trip to get to work, right?
Jeez.
So, Toyota is the main company, and then you got Lexus, which is the fancier Toyota, right?
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah, the same fucking car. Lexus are for people who don't know about cars and want to spend 50 odd grand more on a Camry because it's got electric seats and leather. They're fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so you got Triple M, which is known for like your working class people. Like, yeah, we'll play Barnsley for you today, no worries. But then you've got Lexus, who I reckon would have been roped in by Eddie because he likes driving them, and they're flogging ad after ad every morning for fucking Lexus at Blackburn. Like, mate, how many people listening can afford a fucking Lexus?
Yeah, but that was a sponsorship to Collingwood, Lexus.
Yeah,
exactly.
The Lexus Centre. Yeah.
Exactly. What a waste of fucking money.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. That's how he operates. He's got fucking... The guys... What do they say? If you can't do, you teach.
Yeah.
What's he got to teach though?
No, but we can't teach, so he's the GM, CEO.
Yeah, that's all he does. Yeah,
he's worse than the teacher.
Yeah.
So far removed. He's not one of the boys. This is the point.
He's just putting wax on. He's not taking it off.
Yeah.
See, now you can do the podcast. You can do his podcast where you talked about sport. Fucking see how I got you in there. You didn't invite me.
You have to have a love of sport.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I know. I like some sport.
So here's a question: are you a disappointment to your father that you haven't gone on to get into the cricket world?
Oh, that's general.
He's generally,
in general. His father's generally disappointed.
Yeah, I did a. Yeah, he is. I did a gig in Tassie, and all his cricket mates went down, and his best mate. Yeah, no. So the date I was going down, I couldn't get an actual gig, so I didn't know anyone in Tassie, right? And this is for comedy, obviously. And his best mate, Pete, who lives up here, he's like an uncle to me. He goes, all right, we're coming down, you're coming with.
They're coming down from Melbourne?
Melbourne, they're doing a trip, end of season trip, because Dad used to play with him.
Fucking no pressure.
Yeah, in Burwood. He goes, organise a gig. Like, get a gig, we'll come along. I was like, fuck yeah, Pete, no worries, I'll sort it.
They'll pay for the beers that night.
Month later, couldn't get a gig, so ended up hiring the Joker's Comedy Room, which is run by Gavin Baskerville. It cost me like $120 to hire the fucking room.
That's alright.
Yeah, fuck all. So, I've got, like, my dad moved there when I was about 12 or 14 or something. Anyway, so I've got my dad's mates who have come down, like fucking 15 of them, and last time I saw these guys, I was 12. Right? Used to go to training with Dad every Wednesday and all that sort of shit, right? So he got all Dad's mates, his best fucking mates who he used to be in teams with, plus my sister and my little brother's friends, because they all live in Tassie. And then I hired some comics who I knew in Tassie but didn't know any runners.
You paid some more money?
Well, no, we weren't making money, but like I fed them and shit. And then I was like, it's a small crowd, but they'll laugh. Like, just do whatever the fuck you want. So I ended up putting on like 2 hours of entertainment.
Jeez.
And I got through this one song. It was about this one set about fisting a girl when I was like 20.
Jeez.
And there's a very, I'm proud of this pause that I've got in the story, right? And in that pause, I just hear my dad go, oh God, what happened to my little boy? And that got a bigger laugh than anything. So yeah, Dad's proud. So nothing to do with sport, but yeah, no, he knew it wasn't for me. And as soon as I got into music, like I met the two dudes I had a band with when I was like 15, and as soon as we started jamming, like sport just disappeared for me. But yeah, so he's, don't know what he's proud of, but probably not much.
He's proud, mate, don't worry about that.
He would, but yeah, that was weird. That's probably one of the weirdest comments I've got. Yeah. It wasn't a heckle, so I didn't feel bad, but it was just like, oh yeah, I just realised what I'm talking about to all my dad's mates.
I love how his comment fitted perfectly in that nanosecond break.
It did.
Pause. Yeah. And your ears are so attuned that he said it really quietly. It's just eked out of his soul, and your ears have just nabbed it and gone, oh fuck.
Yeah.
What was happening in your heart at that time? Were you a bit like, what the fuck? Or like, oh.
It was kind of a realisation. I was like, I talk about this shit regularly, and you know, I didn't have much material when it was about a year and a half ago, I think, and I didn't have that much material. I only had a good half hour, I think that was it. And like, I was like, this is all I've got. It's like, sorry everyone, right or die kind of thing. And then it's like, oh, what happened to my little boy? It was great.
It's embarrassing for me, Dad. It's embarrassing for you.
Yeah, you raised me. But yeah, no, I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't think so. Like, no one's really sporty in my family, like immediate family. But everyone, you know, like my uncle and the shit uncle, he's like, oh, my kids did this and that, blah blah blah. What have your kids done, blah blah blah. And I remember being at the table one night at Christmas, and Mum goes, well, Geordie's got 3 albums and a record deal. What have your kids done? Like, it was just like sport, music, like that's it. Like, yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
Well, music does earn a shitload more money for the economy.
Does it?
Yeah. As far as like AFL gets support, but Yeah, music in Victoria, it shits all over AFL.
Yeah.
Every level of football. Or I think I could be wrong here, but let's not let the truth get in the way of good conversation. All
we don't have a fact checker, don't we?
I think all sport, music, what it does for the economy in Victoria is it's shockingly huge.
Oh, well, beers are more affordable at a gig than the footy.
Yeah, well,
That probably throws a bit of money
true.
on it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's get back to comedy. So where did you start?
Oh man, I started off as an actor, went to acting school, and was always found myself being the stupid idiot funny guy at school, and fucked up my tertiary entrance score at the beginning of senior high school.
No, you don't need that after a year, don't worry.
Exactly.
About it.
But yeah, it's the worst thing in the world when that happens at the time, and so I didn't realise it, and then I found out when it was too late to rectify it, and so I just spent that 2 years just making jokes up the back of the class, getting myself into trouble and get myself out of trouble, and then so much so that I became the school captain of the school. When I was like, man, I cared about drama and sport at school, and I failed every single piece of assessment in senior since, and I'm the school captain. What the fuck's wrong with this school? I said in my speech, I said, "Oh, lower taxes," and they all laughed, and so this kind of thing continued on throughout my life, and I went to acting school, and then I always was avoiding comedy and trying to become a serious actor, and I really still like serious acting. But I was just avoiding it, and then I became really shit scared of comedy, as in stand-up comedy, and I would watch a lot of stand-up comedy, and would love stand-up comedy and obsess about it, and I was a musician as well, and I'd do these gigs, doing my little folk music with my mate and guitar, and funny songs, and with pathos, and it was kind of very Darren Hanlon, Lucksmiths. Kind of sort of indie pop sort of stuff, and the stories in between the songs got longer and longer, and eventually I just kind of lost interest and started doing less and less music gigs, and then one time I'd been so long since I'd even picked up a guitar that my hands were cramping up as I was playing, and I even
fingertips hurt.
Yeah, and I was struggling with trying to remember what the lyrics were, and it was all very quirky. So the lyrics mattered, and forgetting what the chords were. And I even faked one time during a gig. I faked. I started moving my hand around, my chord changing hand around, going fuck. So sorry. I cut my finger while I was chopping vegetables this morning for lunch. Some bullshit story. Let's go on to the next song, because I just totally dried, and I hadn't played. Literally picked up the guitar for months. And the calluses were all gone, and so then I was like, I wasn't even doing much, and I enjoyed it. And then, but I'd always watch comedy, get into comedy, and then, but I became so shit scared, I just put up on such this pedestal, and I was writing stuff all the time, and watching comedy, and living the comedian lifestyle, but wasn't doing the comedian stuff, and then eventually went and did this stupid comedy school, and then started doing gigs. So it's been about 3 years since I've been...
What school was that?
I was the School of Hard-Ons. The School of Hard Knocks. Hello to anyone.
Oh God, I'm going to get another text message tonight.
School of Hard Knocks, which was a fantastic experience. I was last on the list to go up before. It was with Jeff Green and Chris Franklin, and it was a killer fucking audience. There was 120 people there, and every single one of my jokes landed. I didn't need to remember any. And I was just had the best time, and just been doing gigs ever since, and have travelled a bit around Australia doing some gigs, and then since then I've gotten the Marvel Stadium gig where I sit out the front with every sporting event and tell stupid jokes, just to lighten the atmosphere as well.
Like a spruiker.
Well, it's exactly a spruiker, yeah.
That'd be a great job.
I fucking love it. I get paid a lot of money. Well, not anymore because it doesn't exist because of COVID. But yes, sit out the front with a microphone and just tell stupid jokes. And sometimes, sometimes I'm not fully engaged in what I'm saying, but I've got the stock standard jokes that work every time and get through. I just, in a serious voice, I'll say something like, Marvel Stadium request anyone who's wearing double denim, can you please go back to the 1980s? Bang, laugh every fucking time, and I feel like I'm drunk, and I don't feel like I'm working, and it's the best job in the world, and I knew at some stage it's all going to come crashing down. A lot of money for no work, and it's an hour and a half, so the most I work in a week is about 4.5, 6 hours. And I get half an hour into the gig and look at into the shift and look at my watch and go, fuck, got an hour to go. Oh, I can't wait for this to be over there. Oh man, I'm working so hard. It's just my life. I'm so privileged, and it'll come back and it'll be fine. And I love it. But I just knew at some stage, it's all going to come crashing down, and then someone fucking ate a bat, and the whole world's fucking jumped off, hasn't it? And so I do corporate gigs and stuff like that, and so have my stock standard jokes that just aren't funny, but everyone else seems to think it's funny, and I know what they are, so I can almost do it blindfolded. And
is that because you've done them so much? As in,
absolutely.
You get to that point where you're like,
so you've honed it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the problem I sort of face at the moment. I've got to be a bit honest and say I've got this massive ego that I know what sort of works for me and I know what doesn't. And when I do new stuff, the last thing I want to do is go to an open mic room I haven't been to before, where I've got to somewhat play the game, impress, and get to meet the runner. And I'm not slagging that off. Of course, you have to do that. And it's about trust and forming a community and putting back into a community and making friends. And if you're shit, then they're not going to put you on, and they don't fucking know who you are. But my motivation to get there and be on the list of 40 people, and you only get your 2.7 minutes, and you finally get up at 1:45, and well, yeah, I haven't been there, and that's one of the rooms I'm just like, I really want to go, but I just had 15 kilos of spaghetti bolognese. I can't be arsed. I cannot be arsed. Look at that on YouTube. Fucking hell. And go on a Wikipedia hole, and I just can't be motivated, because part of it for me is trying to work out if you're funny or what works for you, and then your voice. And then part of it is performance. And I've done my 10,000 hours of performing. I don't feel like... I don't... Sometimes I literally feel like I'm going to fall asleep when I'm doing some like those spruiking gigs where I'm saying the same joke. It's great, because if I'm sick and under the weather, I can turn up and just...
But the open mic is what you're saying there.
Yeah, so it's hard to be motivated to do that. Okay. But I know.
Is it a fear? Is it a fear of not getting across, or is it more of a, like...
Yeah, what are you scared of? Because you mentioned a few times there, like the comedy you're scared of.
Did I say scared?
What is it? Yeah.
Oh, right. I don't think I meant that. Okay.
Petrified or no?
No, I don't think I'm scared. It's just more like I just don't have, and I'm, like 41 now, so I don't have the energy.
Spring chicken.
Exactly. Things are a bit more limp than, and I mean that in exactly what's put into your mind at the moment. This,
you mean motivational levels
in life in general, as well as when things are cooking between you and your loved one. Things are just a bit, it's not as energetic as what they once were. And so when you're enjoying life and you just want to be a normal person a bit, the amount of effort and energy you've got to put in and week out, and some comedians that we know, man, they're doing their 10,000 hours every week, and they're fast learning how to do. For me, well, I don't know. Sure they have bad gigs and good gigs, but good on them. They're putting their feet in their mouth, and their money where their mouth is, and putting the hard yards in. And for me, we all need to do that.
Does that necessarily make you better?
Oh no, not at all. You'd think most people it does, but and there are some people you see do the same stuff and it's never gotten a laugh, and you kind of don't even understand what their point is, and they continue to do it. But for me, recently, I had to pull my finger out of my head, out of my ass, and just go, fuck, dude. Like it's not about playing the game, but the motivation, just reframing it and going, dude, you can go there and try new stuff as well as your stock standard stuff that you know is going to work. Your good 5 minutes, just do that. Your perfected Triple J raw 5 minutes, but just fucking do it and put back into the community. And so yeah, I had a bit of a change of thought, but the motivation to be there at 10 to 12 at night and the only people laughing or not laughing are other comedians who are, the eyes are back in their head because they're going through their stuff because they're getting up after you or just before you. Yeah, it's hard to kind of back up and do it, you know, especially when you don't feel you need to, you know, you don't need to learn how to perform as much as what some other people do, because you've been doing it for 20 fucking years, you know. That's your job. You perform multiple times a week, you know, in front of people, and you're almost falling asleep to some degree, and you've got to switch on a bit and be professional. But yeah, so I think that's a battle we all go through.
Have you been doing it?
Stand-up comedy straight has been about 3 years, I guess. Probably 4 now, I don't know time.
Who fuck knows?
Yeah, who knows? And after that first 10 gigs where the adrenaline's pumping and it's the best thing in the world and you're on top of the world and, you know, what's his name on top of the Titanic? It's
Maurizio.
Yeah, Maurizio. When you get into focusing on the craft and you know jokes are going to work and you really got to work out not just I'll tell my stupid mum joke, I'll tell my stupid girlfriend joke, I'll tell my stupid joke about me, and you really want to work out what you want to bring to the table, and that's where the work comes in. I think, yeah, for me that's now I guess what I'm really stuck into, and picking and choosing rooms and getting to know rooms I just go, no, I don't think I'm ever going to come back here because it does nothing for me. I can't do anything in this because it's not to slag off getting up and doing a boring gig where you know there's other comedians in the room and you feel like it's not that you feel you're better, but it's you're throwing out a new joke, and you're not actually getting a read whether that joke is good or not. You have no idea because...
Yeah, but I don't think you actually do in that open mic scene. You're not going to get it read. You're not going to get
I think some of the others, but those 10 to 12 at night rooms where you get on really late
Everyone's done.
Everyone's done and you get a laugh, you don't get a laugh. It's no accurate representation if that joke's good or not, and that's where I'm at. I'm not at the performing. I'm not worried about performing, and I'm totally about the craft and totally about that joke and trying to make it work. Where does it fit in? Do you shit sandwich it where you put it between two good jokes? But you sort of want to try it on its own merit to see if it lands, you know. And
I'm all for a shit sandwich.
Yeah, that's the best.
Here's why. So you've got a 7-minute spot. You win them over with the first 2 minutes with something you know that works.
Yep.
Then you throw in the new 2-3 minute bit because they've adjusted to you. It's like if I'm going on after yourself or Benny or whatever, and then I come on, everyone's got a different flavour. Like there's no disputing whoever the fuck you work with, whether you like them or not. You work together all the time, all that sort of shit. And here's why I personally like the shit sandwich for trying new stuff. You win them over, they get a feel for your flavour and your rhythm and who you are. Then you throw in the new bit, and then if that fucking dies, you follow up with something that works.
Yeah.
And you try and win them back, and it's like, okay, that wasn't a bad set.
But is that always throwing in the new bit every time you do the gig?
What do you mean?
Like say you do a gig this week, and then you go, okay, 2 minutes normal material, chucking 2 minutes in. Do you try to hone your good 5-10 minutes, or do you go every fucking week I add after 2?
Do you add little jokes to the existing 5, or do you go clean 5 of
clean
new stuff?
5, work it, make it good, make it fucking spot on, work another 5.
Depends. I personally find it rude to try all new shit, and I mean all new. If you've got 7 minutes that's all brand new, or you've only tried it once in a paid or a curated spot, because if you're getting, you're on the bill tonight, your name's on the poster and all that sort of shit, there's a level of respect that I think needs to be adhered to. Of I liked what you did when I saw you last, or that video you put up, whatever the fuck it is. If someone is asking for your name to be on the poster, they see something in you. Whether it's your work ethic, whatever the fuck it is, like they've taken time to go, I want you on here, I get a crowd here, I want them to see you.
Yep.
And then to potentially piss that away with, you know, I thought of this on the way here. What do you reckon? Like, that's...
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I've gone to rooms like this, the open micers, and each week there's new shit from that person. Why not fucking hone your 5 minutes?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, right, yeah.
Get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
you hone your 5 minutes, you hone your 10 minutes, or whatever you've got. I'm not saying don't put a joke in there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying fucking work it so methodically that you know your shit. And then I've seen it where when I started, that was getting in my head because I'm like, I've got to change it.
Yeah. What do I do?
I've got to change it.
New stuff or old stuff?
That's it. Constantly, I've got to change it. And then I got home one day and I was talking to the wife, and she goes, "What the fuck are you doing? Your shit's funny. You know it's good. Do your shit and do it fucking tight and work on you as in the person that's projecting character, whatever, to get it out there." And when I did that, it went, "Yep, this is going to work." Whereas I was constantly looking at everybody else going, "Well, wait a minute, why are they fucking every week, same setup, same start, and then it's like in the middle, fucking adding more shit, adding more shit." Wouldn't you, like, I don't know, wouldn't it be like, if you're thinking, I've got a good joke in the middle here, wouldn't you sit there and work on that joke?
Yeah, for an actual open mic,
Yeah.
if it was a legit standalone open mic, I'll try all new shit, because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Like, if they've got punters, they want to see who comes through or whatever, and anything goes, kind of thing. But if it were a curated spot, if I tried this what's new to me 3-minute bit and it worked, you know, every time I did it over the last week, I think it's ready.
Yeah.
I'll throw it in there. But I got told something very, very solid, fucking awesomely solid advice from Paul Sharplin. Like, I started at Gorilla, I lived there for like the first fucking 6 months, and he goes, "It's between you and the audience." And by audience, I knew exactly what he meant. He didn't mean the comics who were there. Like, we could do Gorilla 3 weeks in a row together. I'm not performing to you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll have a beer with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not performing to you. I'm performing to the crowd.
Yeah.
You're never going to get the same crowd twice. I don't care what fucking room it is. You'll get 2 people who go there every fucking week because it's date night and they want to get that fucking burger and they want to watch some comedy. That's fine. But it's about the people in the crowd, and comics aren't the crowd.
Yeah.
We're all going to see each other's shit multiple times.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
think I'm totally with you, man, on this. Fuck, this is great. I'm so glad we're getting stuck into this nitty gritty. Like anyone else listening who doesn't do comedy, it applies to any craft, I guess. But anyone else just go, what the fuck are they talking about? So, like, this is really fucking good stuff. I'm glad we're talking about this. Do you think that is about ego too? Like, for you, it's boring. It might be boring, you know. You're checking it in. You've got no choice but to check it in, because to what's the word I'm looking for? Not check it in. Just you're just going through the motions. What am I saying? Checking it in. You're just clocking it in. No effort. It's not exciting. There's no adrenaline.
Yeah, you're cruise controlling it.
Yeah, cruise control. Yeah. But that's a part of it.
Yeah,
we know.
We get it.
Fix it in post. But it's part of a bigger. It's part of a bigger process. It's part of a bigger. You're striving for something big, and maybe the people that do something different every week at the open mics, late night, they might be young or less experienced, and what they're doing is they just love stand up and they love telling jokes. They're not trying to make a career, and this sounds a bit wanky. They're not trying to make a career, or they're not trying to build to a show, or workshop a lot of material on a certain theme, because that's what's going to go into their show next year, and so they're really working, whereas their intention is totally different to what other people's is. So I think that's great advice from old Sharpie. Whatever the reason you're doing it is the reason you're doing it, and it's about you, the contract between you and the audience, you know. So get as much as you can out of it, and grow as much as you can, but you've got a contract here with the audience, and so I think I don't know, maybe is it about ego, do you think?
You do.
Being afraid that you're not going to get that laugh when you're used to getting that laugh, and then when you try the new stuff and the old stuff, or is it more about this room is for this and I'm on the poster, so my responsibility, whereas an open mic and late, that's actually a great opportunity to get on and just smash out some new stuff. Might not work.
I firmly believe if you're at an open mic and let's just spitball that 80% of the crowd are comics waiting to go on or they've gone on, I think that is the prime time to test brand new shit. I mean, the debut that it's coming out of your mouth kind of thing after it was pen to paper or a thought or whatever the fuck it is. Because my personal belief, and there is no rule book on this, and that's what I love about comedy. This is what works for me and me only. Well, maybe someone else, but this is my personal experience. If I can make you two laugh, and you're diehard comics, fans of comedy, and you're both working on your own shit, and I could get you out of your head for that 30 seconds that I did the bit, that's a fucking win. That's a keep up. I'm keeping that bit. Because
it's a reflection of the material?
Yeah.
You reckon? Yeah, cool. Yeah,
because
cool with you.
You've got all these comics sitting there thinking about, okay, Benny's talking about food, Gavin's talking about kicking a footy. Fuck, are these people going to like my stuff or not? Because I'm talking about sex or being a mechanical, fuck, whatever. You're in your fucking head, you're thinking, okay, I used that word last time, I'll swap that word out for another one, blah, 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 blah. You're just in your fucking head. That's all it is, because you know it's a show and shine thing. You're going on to try new shit. But if it's a fucking paid gig, people are paying money to go there, it's a curated spot, you've been asked, and I feel honoured when someone says, I want you to do this. Like, oh fuck, you liked my shit? Yeah, I'm going to give you the best I've fucking got. And, you know, ad-libs, someone talks, you get heckled, fucking, you shoot someone down, whatever. That's not part of it. But I think you have to show the room runner, the crowd, especially if they're fucking paying. Actually, regardless of whether they're paying, because I know I've said this to Benny a million times, you're going to tune out of this, but we live in the age, and as we were talking about off camera before, like, we live in the age of entertainment. Like, you can get whatever the fuck you want on your phone, be it YouTube, Spotify, whatever the fuck else there is. You don't have to leave the house to be entertained.
Well, you can't get Spotify, your phone's that old.
It's clogged with porn. No, it's cat pictures. No, but I can delete a browser history. That's one thing I can do.
Pictures of cats watching porn.
I actually have one of those. That's my background. Yeah, if anyone's seen that on the background of my thing, it's my cat watching two lions fucking. But anyway, so no animals were hurt. He had a great day. I was trying to be a good cat dad. No, like you don't have to leave the house to be entertained. No. So anyone who comes tonight, show them the utmost fucking respect unless they heckle you.
Then punch him in the dick.
Yeah, especially if they're fucking paying. If you're getting paid, like, would you expect to get your full check if you fucked up that car or you burnt the fucking souffle or whatever the fuck it is constantly that day? Like, you're all
through that fucking door, you're paying, mate. I don't give a fuck. That's how us wogs operate.
But you know what I mean? Like, you're getting paid.
I get you.
You got to treat it like a job. If
you
want to get paid, you got to treat it like a fucking profession. That's why you get people like yourself. You put everything into it because you want to make it a fucking career. And then
myself.
The most
part of it.
Oh, a sad wank's the best, but no, like
using your own tears.
Yeah, fuck it. No,
41 man.
I don't cry.
Can't wank anymore.
Got someone else to do it.
47, bro. Fucking jerk off every night. That's what happens when you get older.
Yeah.
Peanut butter comes out, bit of Vaseline, bit of Y2K jelly, boom, 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 you're on.
It'll bounce back.
Bit of peanut butter for steak knife. Yeah, no, my biggest bet, and if there's any open micers or people who are wanting to get into comedy, if I see another person do this, I'll play you off instantly. Curated spot, or people are paying, a fucking gig. And you get up there with your fucking book or your phone to read jokes off.
Let me write this down.
That is the most disrespectful thing you can possibly do to a room, I reckon.
Yeah.
That shits me to no end. I lose all, and I have lost respect for
But what do you say? Do you turn around and go, you can't bring your book up here? What do you say?
I just don't book them.
Yeah, I know, but...
It's no. Kind of their their problem to find out
but,
why.
But that's where the fucking ego thing comes in.
Yeah.
So I wrote this today. I know this is going to kill.
Yeah.
No, motherfucker. Do what everyone else is doing. Go to a fucking open mic night. Throw the shit at the wall. See what sticks. Then get paid for it.
Part of it's too like it's funny, or you know where it's going to hit, where it's going to land, and how it's going to work and how it's going to be funny, and you've done it a million times and you can kind of do it in your sleep, still saying it like it's the first fucking time you've.
That's where the magic kicks into it, because you're passionate about it. You know, these motherfuckers, like none of it, like the people in our immediate circuit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're not doing stadiums. We're not on Netflix. We're not on fucking, like, you have to treat everyone like they've never seen you before. Yeah. And that's what, for me, that's what keeps it hungry. Like, I want you to remember my fucking name, even if I'm middle of the bill, last, first, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Put on a fucking show. People have come out. Same as music. Like, I lose, like, you could tell me 6 bands to look up tonight, and if I see their music video or something, or a clip of them playing live, it could be the best music sonically to me, like listening to it, but for me, a band is like, if they can take what they recorded and replicate that shit live, that's a fucking band, no matter what genre it is. And unfortunately, Coldplay do that well, even though I fucking hate them, but I got dragged to see them once at Marvel. Fucking shit band, but they nail what they do live, so respect. But if I see like a crowd of people for this band, and the 2 guitarists just like basically staring at their shoes because they don't practice enough and they can't play in the dark, put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
People are there. Put on a fucking show. Don't treat it. Don't take it for granted.
But that's that passion thing you say. You know what I mean? And this is the thing where I say it's a fine line between the passion and the hours. You know, putting how many hours you put in, and people go, "Oh, put in this much hours."
I don't think it matters how many hours you put in.
It doesn't matter. I think it's all about, you look at it and you go, "Okay, well, I'm going to make this the best I can fucking make it." Because I'm a chef, and when I got taught a recipe, it was like, "I got to make this good and better than that guy actually who invented this dish."
Yeah.
And the next person that I train has to make it better than him, and him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's that, and this is the thing. Same thing with the comedy.
And then producing that again and again, like a cookie cutter.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think that's a lot to do with. That's the passion side of things, and I used to look at the people writing shit and doing new shit constantly and doing. I can't. That's not me. That's not how I do comedy.
Yeah.
I have my stories. I have my experiences. All the shit that I've gone through. That's where we're going. If people want to come on the ride, jump on. If you don't,
well, passion's interesting for me. Like, for the longest time now, for me, passion is about not doing the exciting thing that gets your blood going. It's about getting out of bed and doing it.
Yeah.
Like turning up, it's boring. Turning up and doing it. Turning up and doing it. Turning up. For me, that's where passion comes from. Not the excite. It's not exciting, and the more it's not exciting, the more I can focus on the craft.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. Yeah, like you're saying. Like I of course, you know, going to acting school. I'm a very good waiter, coffee maker. Worked in kitchens as well. That's what you get trained at acting school. And so I sharpen my knives. I love cooking, and I love the fact that I haven't done it at a massively professional level for a long time. I've worked in kitchens and I've chopped stuff and worked as not as a high up, but just done the basics and learnt proper technique with cutting knives. And the other day I checked out for half a second. And see it on the video. I'm not giving you the finger, but there's a little red spot on my knuckle, on the crease of the knuckle, where that knife just slid it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You fucking idiot!" Because I can just brrr and be talking to people and da da da. And I love that I can methodically think and organise a massive meal for everyone to come out all at the same time, and I can chop up stuff and portion it for everyone to use. I love that. I love how I've done that, but and not have overused that, but I can do it. And it can be an experience for me and for anyone that we're cooking together. But I took my mind off it for half a second, and knife got me. And it's right in the crease. So it's anytime I bet, it's going to take ages to heal. Fucking.
something just came to me, yeah? So, you got the comics who think that, you know, the more hours I put in,
yeah.
I think it's the quality over quantity, and I'll give you an example. I'm not going to name the names, because how they party is how they party, right?
Are they in this room?
No.
Oh,
But
I don't want to know.
how they...
He knows I'd shoot him or stab him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're in the way of the door, so you're going to get quicker than I am. My back's fucked, so I can't run very fast. Anyway, so there's three main comics that come to mind who are massive on the... I did 300 shows this year. Blah, blah, blah. But they are nowhere near as good as the comics that I'm thinking of who come out once in a blue moon or once a month and just fucking nail it. Great buddy of ours, Mr. Wainhouse. He does one show, I'll take out COVID and shit, he does maybe one show a month, one show every 2 months. Can't fault him. Yeah, he's been doing it for 20 years. He would have...
Yeah, but he still loves the craft.
Yeah, he's still fucking hungry.
It's the craft. This is what I was trying to say. Even though the craft becomes a job, you've still got to make it enjoyable, that craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that craft's enjoyable, it's going to show. I don't care what you do, be it cars, cooking, comedy, fucking sports. If you show that craft that respect and constantly do it and make it better every time, and this is the thing, when we get complacent, we fuck up. We all fuck up.
And I think that's
my finger, the knife.
And I think that's what the 300 shows a year is. It's complacency. It's like, yeah, I did this. Yeah. It's like, I banged 300 girls this year. Okay, well, you know.
Did any of them enjoy it?
Yeah, no. Exactly.
They all laughed. So it's great for comedy.
Okay.
It's great. It's shit for your lovemaking career.
It's like, it's like, yeah, you got off, but did they?
Yeah.
And it's a relationship between the fucking crowd.
And you were on the poster for that sex experience, and you fucked up, man.
Hey, as long as it's not a wanted poster, I'm fine. But no.
Well, as long as they don't bring their book, you'll respect them.
Fucking hell.
Could you imagine, Jordy? I've just got something to say to you before we have sex.
Yeah. It's last week's. We're going to this week's. Well, that's interesting too. So I just want to inject. I've seen him a few times recently, Jim Moen.
Yeah.
And he gets up with the book, and I think it's a part of his. shtick. And
yeah,
so
same as Matt O'Neill, but that is actually...
And it works, but still, the first couple of times, I have checked out a bit and gone into hyper alert mode, going, fuck, is he trying new stuff? This will be really interesting to see what happens. And then I still am not 100% on board with the journey at that point, because he's ripping out a book. So yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Sorry, go on.
No.
Sex
Oh,
themes.
no, I talk about sex on this too much. People are going to start tuning out. But I do have a fans only account if anyone wants to hear more. But
$2.99 a year.
No, I do. Yeah, I haven't launched it yet, but it's coming. Strap yourselves in. There are some acts who work with a book, and it is part of it. Like that bit that Matt O'Neill does about the getting the punchline wrong. Have you seen?
The Jewish one.
I don't like saying people's bits, but
it's a Jewish one.
Yeah, he goes, I know who's to blame for COVID.
Yeah.
It's the Jews.
Yeah. Oh, wrong page.
Like, oh, hang on. Yeah.
And that's part, because his character's sort of unsure of what he's saying.
But that is acting.
That's
someone getting up there with the fucking ego being like, I jotted this down on the tram on the way here. Notice how I said tramp, but on the tram on the way here. What are you on? Yeah. Like, how do you know? You haven't even said it to your buddy at work to try and get a laugh out of him. Like, that's...
He's got buddies.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, you haven't...
I did that this year, and I had all new stuff, because I didn't prepare, and I had a whole lot of new thoughts, and I jotted them down, and I got up with a book, and I did it. And it was to a room. It was to where was it? It was Highlander. So that's a really warm room most of the
time. That's
open
mic as it gets. Everyone's getting up there trying shit.
And I was reading it, and I was delivering it with the massive amount of confidence that needed to be done. But because the joke wasn't ready, there's only a certain amount of confidence you can. That it's a maximum, but it's still only 10% of what it should be. And they all flopped. And the biggest laugh I got was when I called it. About 2 minutes early, I was 3 minutes in, and called it and said, I'm so sorry, I ruined your night, and I hope the night gets better. And fuck, that got a massive laugh because the preceding material was just god awful.
Yeah, but you're trying to craft it.
Yeah, but I should have put more effort into crafting it before getting out the book factor.
But you also saw it.
Yeah.
You went.
You're aware of it. Yeah.
It's fucked.
And
I'm off.
But then I was stuck because I can't go short because it's going to throw everyone else out. So I'm going to 3 minutes is the earliest I'm going to jump off in a 5-minute spot. You know, because I don't want to throw everyone else off.
You know when to call it.
Yeah, but I just thought, fuck, that's a good lesson. You know, like I'm a big believer in you could have a funny idea, but you need to work it before you get up to give it the joke, that bit, its best chance, you know. And if you do your best, and it's so loud in how quiet the audience is in response, then you're like, you know what, I think it's funny. I don't give a shit about you cunts. I think it's funny, and get fucked. And you had a great time, but you don't get all caught up. Ego doesn't come in. You just know, oh fuck, that should be funny, and it's not.
Yeah, well, not every crowd's yours, and that's a hard lesson to work out.
At least you've given it that joke. You've given it a perfect. You know, you haven't strangled it and chucked it under the water. You've paid for a private school education for that joke.
It'd be called drowning, wouldn't it? Strangling it underwater.
Well, yeah, but
close enough.
It's you know, if it's. When you do 300 shows a year like me, you know, we have these different definitions for these things.
Sorry, I'm not that versed there. My hours are behind.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking not in a normal year, I'm talking this year.
That's
300 this year.
Last couple of months.
Have you seen any Zoom shows?
The what?
Zoom shows.
Oh, yeah, they're fucking weird. Are they weird? Is it just me?
No, it's not.
It's funny. What's funny is the comedian.
Pointless is the word I'm looking for.
The comedian going, really good comedians. Like I saw Brad Oakes do a bit for Fed Square, and even him who's got such 10,000 hours. He's probably done 10 fucking, I don't know how many he's done. He's probably done, I don't know how, a lot, 10,000 hours. He'd deliver the joke and just always he'd get a laugh, and it'd be a big laugh or a small laugh. You could see this in his eyes when he'd do a joke, punchline, bang. His eyes ever so slightly looked for the thing, and there was no laughter. And someone who's done as many as him, who just doesn't care if he gets the laugh or not, he's so comfortable on stage. Even that, I was watching his eyes, and even that, it just was really disconcerting, and the rhythm and everything was just of the experience for me was off, because
it's a delay.
Yeah, it's just this back and forth that just wasn't there, and it's nothing to do with him. It's nothing to do with how good he was, or if he had a good gig or a bad gig. There was nothing wrong with what he was doing. You know, I was looking, going, if I can do half as good as what he's doing, then I'm fucking great. But it's just weird seeing this experience of this person going, I'm missing something. There's no laughter when it just naturally is there. Even if there's not a laughter because your joke was shit or it just didn't land, there's still a from the audience, you know. There's still a back and forth to some degree. Even you going, oh, you should fucking laugh at that. It was funny in my bedroom. Yeah, and there was none of that. And he's looking out, we didn't see it, but he's looking out to an auditorium of nobody. Yeah. Meanwhile, also probably like the rest of us just going, fuck, are we all going to die from COVID? I don't know, I'm just going to keep telling jokes anyway. But it was weird. It was weird, these Zoom. And I don't think I went back and watched any others.
Man, Oaksy in a full room is something to see.
Oh, when he gets up on the chairs.
The way he works a fucking crowd is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks to fucking hear that.
Yeah, it was like, you know, it's like water for duck's back. It didn't bother him, and I think he's doing it for, like, it was probably the most interesting gig he's done in fucking probably, 75 years.
Experience.
Yeah, but it was just weird. So Zoom gigs, how many have you seen? How many Zoom gigs? None?
I barely got through one.
I just can't do it. It's just like, it loses that. I'm not going to sit there and watch people watching somebody. To me, that's too fucking freaky.
Big Brother. But you like Big Brother?
It's very weird.
No, I like Big Brother. They're fucking It's different.
Would you say it's like serving someone dessert and watching their face crumple because they've been eating 17 mouths of chili? And you go, no, this is dessert. It's just not what it is.
Yeah, but have you been to a restaurant where a waiter's looking at you for the response?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
For me, that's creepy. It's like, I don't give a fuck. If you walk away happy, yeah, you walked away. I don't need to see you going,
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't want to see that. Yeah, it loses that. I don't know. For me, it loses it. But if they like it, they enjoy it. Good on them, mate. No more power to you.
But it's the complete opposite. It's not even the right term, but it's the complete opposite of what it actually is. It's a live exchange between a group of people and one idiot up on stage.
Look, I hope we can get past all this shit. We will. No, we will definitely, but it's.
But even when we go back in next week, next month, whatever, still there's only 4 people in the room. It's 1.5 meters. There's still not even even when you go to a gig and the lights are up a little bit too much for the audience, that throws everything. So you need that light on stage, dark in the audience. Even these dynamics matter, and people have worked these things out over many, many thousands of years, and they've got it down to a fine art of how you do live performance, and we're now we're fucking with that dynamic, inorganically, unnaturally, all because of for good reason. Don't want to die from COVID. But even like people getting there, sitting there, being a bit scared.
Man's got his finger in everything, fucking everything up.
You say Eddie again, fucking Eddie.
Eddie fucking Maguire.
Take the dimples off the comedy.
Yeah. People can't catch it.
People can't catch the jokes. Zoom jokes. Have you seen Geordie? Have you seen Zoom jokes?
One, it's fucking horrible. Like, I understand there was a gap in the market, and you had a lot of people on edge, like, I need to do something, I need to do something.
I'm trying to see if this thing worked.
Work.
Do you reckon that? What's weirder, that or 3 blokes sitting in a garage doing a podcast with a camera in the corner, and there's a big TV screen in the room, and they can see themselves talking to themselves to an audience of 0. What do you reckon?
It's not 0.
It's not 0, bro. He's up, bro.
We're counting each other as the audience?
No,
right now, there's no audience.
Oh, no audience.
No.
So do you reckon that's weirder?
No, and here's why.
Because it's us right now.
No, because the podcast has been around, like, that... the oldest podcast I know is the Ricky Gervais show, and that was mid-2000s.
Yeah.
How's it different from radio? The only difference between a podcast and radio is it's not live, and we don't have we do have callers. Tony Magnuson calls in every now and again, but that's the only difference. It's not live.
Yeah.
Whereas,
but we're not trying to make it live.
Yeah. I'm just taking the piss because now.
No.
It's an interesting question.
No, but
I haven't thought of it.
But if you do a live stream or whatever they call this,
yeah.
even that's a bit.
Oh, it's totally different. We're talking to each other. We're just documenting it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking the piss. There's also a massive accordion in the corner too.
The only
weird.
I have to admit, now that you've said it.
Oh no, we got meta.
No. What does meta mean? I keep hearing people say.
I don't know, that's what I'm asking you.
Oh, metaphorical. Oh.
No.
Is that what that is?
When you're referencing anyway, we'll get to it later.
We'll get to that later.
Tony Magnuson, call in, mate.
I need a fucking dictionary sometimes. Anyway, I shouldn't have passed you 12.
What is it? Meta?
Meta.
When something is meta.
I keep hearing people say meta. What the fuck is that?
It's a joke again, so you don't know. That's the joke. You don't know. Everyone keeps using it. You don't know what it means. No, we'll explain
Inception.
what it means.
Yeah, alright,
but
so...
I don't want to stop the flow.
Okay, so...
You're about to have an epiphany.
I am, actually. Yeah, usually this happens on tour, so strap in. So, we've gone from gigs in a room with people, and then I started doing apocalypse cooking at home, which only did it 3 times. But that had interaction more than the Zoom thing. Because I had people commenting and I could see it as I was trying to cook and not cut my fingers off.
Yeah.
And
I did that once too, because of you doing that. I thought, let's see what happens, get some interaction.
I was probably using my phone for something else when you did that, sorry. But it's like, comments were coming up, so then I was talking back to the people, right? That's more interaction than Zoom. Obviously I didn't have the fucking viewership or whatever it was, but then... Not saying I started anything, I definitely didn't start anything, but it was something I wanted to do for fun because I was bored shitless. But then, like, I can't imagine how I'd enjoy that if I just filmed myself cooking and that was it. And I just posted up as if it wasn't live.
But then the mindset would be you're performing to put it together to a recorded thing. So you've got to, manifest the reaction, and then later on you can edit it, and so you don't have to worry about the reaction. But when you're doing a live gig, not even about comedy, you just like teachers and stuff that have been Zooming. Like I've heard it's been really hard because they're just not getting that immediate human feedback. You know, like in some ways this is even better. I'm just looking at the screen now. This is better. Like someone's interacting with me. It's a fucking weird orange ginger beard cockhead.
Hey, no one
That's
disses
me.
gingers in this house.
But it's still something.
Yeah.
You know, it's still me. It's still another human being that looks
weird.
like me.
I would rather
Not that
do.
fat, am I? Fuck.
No, you're not.
Jeez.
Oh, you've slimmed down since last time I saw you, actually.
Oh, you calling me a fat bitch?
No, he's doing exercise videos.
No, that's because you touched me inappropriately, and I didn't realise it was you when I was walking up the stairs.
You keep talking about this, him grabbing you on the arse or something.
Alright, well, Benny, get jealous. Just fucking.
No, I just want to know what happened.
I didn't recognise him, so we're at Gorilla, and I went up to grab a drink or something, and like everyone said, like seated and all that sort of stuff, and Gavin's sitting on the stairs. Like I knew he was there, but because I think we'd only spoken over Facebook. I think at that point, I don't know.
Oh no, we did the gig at South Melbourne.
Yes,
George, yeah.
George, yeah, the George. So I knew you were there, and then I'm walking up the stairs at Gorilla to get a drink, and then someone just fucking grabbed me on the turn. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh hey man, like it was just fucking
Good to see you.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, it was just like it was just weird. And that's my story. That's how I'm coming out. But no, it was odd. It was odd. But with the Zoom shit, like I would rather do endless cooking videos with people commenting it, like to 20 people. Like the most.
But they must do it to get paid and shit. I don't know. Do they do it for money or?
Oh, the people I know that did it, I think they were doing it as a favour just to see what this, because at that stage, even a week ago, a month ago, it was like this is the rest of your life. Like we didn't know what was going on with COVID, or so maybe everything's going to be out of action for 5 years. Who knows?
People are testing the waters.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, they had to do it.
Yeah, fuck
And
give it a crack.
Yeah, but it's just interesting, sort of being on both sides of that camera. We've got enough experience standing on stage, telling things that you think are funny and getting a reaction. You putting yourself in the position of these people you're watching, as well as you analysing what's going on and trying to think, what the fuck? How would I go? Would I freak out? Maybe I'd fucking freak out. Oh, this is weird. Because it's so you're just over analysing it, when to some degree, stand up comedy, you do all the work before, but when you get there, it's just on. Yeah. It's like sport, Geordie. You should get into some sport. It's just on. The ball bounces, and it's just whatever happens. Well, your bum was that night at Gorilla, but now that we're, he did a good job emceeing. So just analysing that situation, even seeing someone like Brad, who you can't, so you can. There's nothing you can't trust about him getting up on stage and doing comedy. So to see him live vicariously through him, who's bulletproof, you just go, man, this is just such a weird. This thing is weird, If it kind of not that he was bad at all. Like, well, I don't know if he was bad or not because it was just a weird experience. It kind of wasn't stand up. Yeah. He's standing up and he's telling jokes, but kind of you need an audience for it to be. Theatre isn't theatre unless there's an audience to some degree.
I kind of look at it the same way. Like when I first started, I was like, how do you?
It's not a gig.
Practice. Like, how do you do stuff? And people are like, get to all the open mics, blah, blah, blah. Record yourself in your bedroom, see how it sounds, blah, blah, blah. Like, set the camera up in the corner and, act as if you're on stage telling a joke, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking, I couldn't think of anything worse. It's like, I don't know, like, it's funny to me, that's why I'm saying it. But me recording it and just having it on my phone, like, there's no reaction from anyone. Yeah. And that's what I assume Zoom would feel like. You just.
But even then, you're in the room and you're kind of maybe looking back on your room recording and your room Zoom recording. Thank you. Here all week. And you're looking back and it's obvious. You know because you were there. You know that no one's there, and you're just saying it to your teddy bear you've stuck in the corner, so you've got some eyes to look at. But you're more focused maybe on the material, dude. I've been living with you for 15 years now. The cat is getting really annoying. So you know what the situation is. But with the Zoom one, it's like you could see them throwing out this energy, and it just didn't come back. And then they do it again, but then they weren't. None of them. I saw a few of them do it. None of them, not just Brad, I saw some others. None of them were being honest in that moment. None of them were going, "This is weird. Oh, wait on, there's no one here. So therefore, why am I telling these jokes to no one?" There was that honest reaction wasn't there, so therefore it's doubly weird. But they've got to keep going because they've got to keep getting the laughs. But then I think...
but was it canned laugh, or was it...
Just chasing your tail by the sound?
I don't know if there was... I don't think there was laughter at all. And again, they did sitcoms in the I guess 70s, 80s and 90s in the States where they put the canned laughter in, and Ricky Gervais was... He got massively lots of questions at the BBC with The Office saying, "When are you going to put the canned laughter in?" He's like, "I'm not."
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, man. We should have a massive conversation. It's my favourite show, The Office. There's only The Office. It
doesn't have anything to do with sport though, so I don't know how to swing that.
Yeah, good point.
He loves hunting.
But the same thing that there's
He
not...
loves hunting.
Yeah.
There wasn't any... I don't think... Ones I saw, there was no canned laughter. I could be wrong.
No,
But
no, because he wanted it to seem like a documentary.
Yeah, The Office. But I'm talking about the Zooms. There was no...
Sorry, There
was no canned laughter. And I don't know if that would be weird. It'd be a bit like what we were talking before about... I personally didn't mind the cheering at the football.
Yeah, but if you're sitting there for that long, how long did it go for?
Who are you talking about, the performer?
Zoom, the Zoom.
Oh, I think it was a good 3 to 5 minutes, which is quite a long time.
Each performer.
I think so. I only watched one and
a
bit.
But that's what I'm saying. So if it was like, say, a half-hour show, that's a long fucking time with no laughter.
And it's a very short time. It can be a very short time on stage if things are fucking cooking.
The one I did...
But on Zoom, you're right.
But the one I saw was 40 minutes.
A 40-minute Zoom?
It gets worse. 40 minutes. Each comic did about 7.
Oh.
But then... Oh no, it was longer than 40 minutes. Hang on. I saw about 6 or 8 comics. Each one did 5 to 7, I reckon. And the MC had no idea how to MC. he was doing like 5 minutes between each act, and it was fucking abysmal. Yeah. And I tried to look at it in a
objective.
Like, if this was in front of a crowd, would it be funny? Would people be laughing? No. Like, the jokes
again, you're totally riding the rhythm, aren't you? If you're shit, and it's more what we're talking about before, open mic, and I'm just bombing here, okay, I'm going to get off earlier than later, you make that call. If you're the MC, you just get up and say, you're just riding the wave, and it's a big name, or whatever, everyone's looking forward to it, you just mention the name. You're riding the rhythm, but with that, you've got to just lock into your preconceived...
Not that I've been asked, but I would not do one.
Do you think it's like Catholic guilt? They're just getting in there and just like punishing themselves, whipping themselves. Like, we know this is weird, it really hurts, it's really weird, but we're just going to keep going. Whip, whip, whip.
Well, thank God it's not Muzzo guilt. Fucking they'll blow themselves up.
It's okay, he can say that. He's Muslim. Just a slight disclaimer. Yeah, no.
Take it out post.
Yeah.
So what was your worst ever bomb? If you've had one.
Oh, shit. I'm going to say this, and, it sounds bad, but I haven't had too many massive bombs because I put a lot of effort into my writing, and I say it a lot, and I'm constantly editing as I'm saying it out and trying to make it mine as much as possible, and I think about it quite deeply. So I've got some jokes that always get a laugh because it taps into something I think quite deep, misogynistic, and it's about a stray dog that we it's all a made up story, but this story about this rescue dog that my parents got, and it went crazy and knocked over my sister and started humping her. And it's actually about misogynism and about how super celebrities or powerful males can get away with things, how they've gotten away with things. And I think, that's right. Maybe my joke won't work. And I think I could be wrong, but I think that's how I wrote it. And I think that's how it gets laughs all the time. I'm quite amazed. I'm wondering how much of that people pick up, or is it just a stupid story? But I haven't had that many bombs because, once again, I try to perfect that 5 minutes, and if I haven't done a gig in a while or whatever, or I've got a big gig coming up, I'll jump up somewhere and do that stock standard, hardcore, locked in, polished 5 minutes, and I know it's always going to get laughs. It's just how big the laugh are, and how big the laugh is. But yeah, I haven't had massive bombs. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Part of me thinks I'm just playing it safe and need to go out there more. But then I'm like, well, like you were saying, Geordie, like, what's the point in me saying this? It's just a thought I had on the way here, and I would never do that. But essentially, for me, they're kind of the same equivalent. It's just a thought I had the other day. I haven't put any more thought into it. I've written the story out, and I just know it, and I'm struggling, and I just feel like shit because I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking? I don't even know what I'm talking about. I thought, the guy painted, he had red paint, and then if he forgot his paint, yeah, that'll be funny. Oh, no wonder it wasn't funny. Yeah, I didn't even know what I was thinking about a week ago when I wrote that down, but I got up and I gave it a go. That's part of my 300 shows this year, gigs this year. Like, yeah, I haven't, and I think I need to start, I respect it too much. I don't want to bomb because then I'm thinking, what are you fucking doing? Like, I need to put effort in. And I don't know if I want to change that. I want to, I'd rather do less gigs, like what you're talking about, Wayne House, doing his once a month, once every 2 months. And that way it keeps it fresh. But I haven't really bombed that much because I'm a fucking funny cunt. Or I've never done a gig in my life, so therefore I've never bombed. You two, what's
who is this guy? Where'd you find him?
Thank you.
That's right, School of Hard Knocks. Great.
Well, no, I've been Brad Oakes. Thanks very much. I'll slag off Brad.
No, don't slag off Brad. I've got some beer for him if he's listening.
I love Brad.
No, but I think if you're putting, that makes sense. If you're putting that much effort into your open, and your actual physical writing process of it and throwing it back at yourself on your phone and shit, then that's a great way to go.
Yeah.
Like, that shows you true to you, and you're actually giving it a fucking everything. I think the more effort you put into the open mic, if you treat... I'm going to try and do this when we come back. If I treat every open mic like it's a paid gig... I mean, I'm still going to try new shit at open mic because that's what it's for, I think. But
yeah,
how much more are you going to fucking learn from that?
Yeah. Actually, let me clarify. I think I have had flats where I don't feel like it's a bomb. I feel like a bomb is like you think it's going to kill, and then it is it's loud how bad it doesn't land. But maybe I've had lots of flats, and I just know, because I've got philosophies that. Especially for 5 minutes, I need to have a laugh every 15 to 20 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time. The audience is drowning. That's their oxygen. So I have those things in place, so therefore I don't feel like it bombs. It just goes flat sometimes. And I just know I didn't get those 2 laughs for that 40 seconds, and I've got a bigger one coming up for the next 20 seconds or the next 30 seconds. So I've just got to hit that a bit harder. And then bang, we hit it, and we're back on track. And I've worked that third laugh a lot, and it always works. So therefore, bang, we're back on track, we're back in rhythm. I feel like it's more like boxing. So for me, I kind of don't understand bombing. Like, I feel like it's like boxing, and if you throw out a punch and it misses, you haven't lost the match. You might get punched in the face a bit, but you haven't lost. You haven't failed. It's just you're also sussing out too. And I think for me, it's about the more I do it, the more I kind of don't even think of my performance. For me, it's listening to the audience from the get-go, and it's about them, so therefore if something doesn't land or it lands a bit funny, then what it normally does, I'm listening to the audience and trying to suss out, like a boxer just jabbing, where are we tonight, and if I say a joke that always gets a laugh, and for that particular gig it lands really badly, and there's they're doing the bad laugh, like it's Catholic priest joke or something, and everyone's ooh,
they're my favourite.
Yeah, then I'm like being honest, and I'm not rehearsed. I'm still listening to. I know what I'm saying. I don't feel like I'm rehearsed. I know what I'm saying, and I know the points. And some words are very specific in jokes, and some, as long as you get the story out, the story's funny. and you think it's funny, so that carries the joke over the line. Sometimes you'll say a joke and you just get a really funny reaction, like if it's something that's a bit off colour, or it's something that's a bit sensitive and people give an ooh reaction. I'm listening, and then I straight away say something like, right, that's where the line is tonight. Yeah. And then I'm being honest, and then they generally laugh at that, because you're being honest in the situation instead of getting caught up and going, what did I do wrong? Oh no, the joke didn't work. I may as well go and kill my mum now. I'm the worst person in the world. Like, it's not as hard. It's not, everyone builds it up so much, but it's not. It's just like a conversation, and you're just gauging. You're not worrying about if the other person across if you're saying the right thing. You're just worrying about if you're landing, and even having those moments of going in your head. Are you with me? Did that land? Is that me or is that you? Are we right? Are we like what you have to do with your partner? A couple of times a week. Is everything right between us? Yeah, good. All right. Well, let's have something to eat. For me, it's about listening to the audience. So if it comes down to it about bombing, I'm just like, well, they bombed. They didn't hear the joke right.
Are you the one who walked halfway through? In halfway through. Yeah.
And it's different to music. I don't know, Geordie, for you, because you can't. Someone on the stage, part of the band, just can't go off and do whatever they want to do to save the song. However, you judge the song's working or not, because that throws everything out. But also, the song is the song. It's written like this. Yeah. So, and generally when they stop playing, everyone cheers. Or they leave if they don't like your stuff. But you can't adapt like you can with on stage.
No, you can't.
It's a conversation. I feel like it's a conversation. They're just not talking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, their response is their laughter as opposed to talking, unless you get heckled. But like with the music thing, like you'll rehearse once a week or something like that, whatever it is coming up to it, and we all know that we're playing this song first, then track 4 will be second, and then blah 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 blah. Like you're all on the same page as a collective, as a band, a group.
Yeah.
But then with comedy, like you have that freedom of, okay, as he said, with it, these guys didn't like the priest joke, so I'll hit him with whatever joke. Kind of thing, you can chop and change it. Whereas with a band, you can't. And then I think if a band were to bomb in a roundabout way, you probably didn't like the set list, or maybe they didn't tune their guitars, or they were having an off night. Bands bomb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any performer fucking bombs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you do have that freedom as a comic to, if you're trained enough, I think, just because you've got 7 minutes, you can know, okay, I could do my best 5 and that'll suffice for this gig. Because these guys have talked about that. I don't want to really tail on what they're talking about. I want to be something fresh or whatever. Yeah. But then that comes down to experience. Yeah, I think.
I'd argue that theatre doesn't bomb because that's heavily crafted. Like you spend weeks and weeks and weeks, and sometimes months, and maybe sometimes
you've seen Cats.
Wow.
I love Cats. I fucking hate it.
I thought I had a foolproof philosophy there.
There you go.
Just blown it out of the water. Yeah,
we'll make mistakes.
I haven't even seen
it's
that.
It's the way I roll, mate. Just come in slowly.
Shakespeare would be rolling his grave.
But it's all crafting. There's people that are employed for that production to sit on the outside and craft it. So it doesn't bomb. It just is. People just fall asleep. It's like a movie, I guess. Essentially, a piece of theatre.
God, seriously, how shit is Cats? Oh, God.
I've seen the stage production once and thought it was lovely for a poem. As far as a play, I thought, what the fuck? I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't understand what was going on in the movie. Suppose you take drugs and get drunk, and it'll be the best thing you've ever seen.
I'm still trying to get my hands on the new version.
Oh, they had
the assholes. Yeah, the asshole edition.
They put them in.
Okay, so when Cats was getting made, everything's CGI and blue, green screen fucking suits and Avatar shit, right? So originally, from what I understand, I haven't read in depth. I've just got the gist of it, so bear with me. But the CGI teams, it was like 6 people to a scene or something fucking ridiculous, or a frame or whatever it is. You got to make some cats. Cats have assholes quite visible unless they're quite fluffy like mine. So they put assholes in, and then one of the actors complained, "No, I don't want an asshole," and then they deleted the assholes halfway through editing.
Oh, all of them, all of the
all
arseholes.
the arseholes, and then a few months later, a year later, whatever the fuck it is, like, no, we need the arseholes for the DVD.
Put it back in.
Like, imagine being that shitty. You had to re-edit arseholes.
Wow.
So yeah, apparently there's an arsehole edition coming out.
So to see arseholes.
Not just arseholes, but like...
No, you see the thing, but you see the arseholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably an asterisk. You could get around it so easy. Just different coloured asterisks on things. No worries. But like, yeah, apparently there's an arsehole edition.
So Geordie, what's your biggest bomb?
Oh, everyone asks me every time we do this, and I've repeated it a few times, but I'll explain it once more as a musician to musician. It was my very second gig. At this point, I'd done 10 years of live music, semi-professional. Like, I never got paid for it, but we were doing big gigs, so musos will get that. It was at Gorilla. It was my second gig, and I had 4 minutes of material because I knew I only had 4 minutes, open mic, all the rest of it. And I got 30 seconds in, and I had the epiphany that I was the only person on stage. I had no bandmates, I had no guitar in front of me, I had no lights, had no smoke machine, no music, and I heard my voice for the first time through a PA system. Like, I don't want to listen to that. These people aren't going to want to listen to that. My name's Geordie, good night. 30 seconds.
What do you mean? What actually happened? What did you say? This is what's going on in your head.
It had nothing to do with material. I got up, I did the same material that I did the first week.
Yeah.
Like, my first ever gig, like, I got, pushed into doing it sort of thing, like, dared pretty much to do it. I got through the 2 stories that I had, that was it, because it was all real life shit. I never wrote a joke until, like, 6 months ago, right? So, all real life experiences. I knew I had 4 minutes, because it was open mic. I got through my 2 stories, obviously went way too quick or whatever the fuck it was, looked up at Paul, and I was like, and he goes, oh, you still got 2 minutes. It's like, oh, fuck, and then kind of just called it.
Yeah, right.
But the adrenaline was going, right? It was the
Yeah.
first time. Then the second time I was like, right, that was fucking fun. I'm going to flesh it out a bit. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take up my 4 minutes. I'm going to throw this bit in because something else happened in between that time. And then I heard myself for the first time.
Oh, the first time you're so conscious about concentrating on the job you're doing and saying the right thing. Yeah. The second time you're relaxed, and then you actually heard your voice for the first time.
I wasn't relaxed, but I was like more aware of
a heightened awareness.
Yeah, the adrenaline wasn't there, but like I'd had the hit of like, I want to do this because I made people laugh the first time I got up. I was like, fuck, I was not expecting that.
And that's when you heard your voice, and that's when you.
No, sorry. So the first time I ever did it, my first ever spot. I had maybe 4 or 5 mates, but then I knew their laughter because I've known them for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't hearing their laughter. I was hearing their laughter plus. Whoever the fuck these people. The first time I did it.
Second gig, that's when you heard your voice, and that's when.
Yeah,
you're
then
like,
the second gig,
fuck?
like one of my mates came the first time because he's been real supportive, and shout out to Ralphie, and he came along, heard his laughter, and then just about the 30-second in mark, I heard my voice. I was like, nah.
This is 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
Wow, and that's it.
I think it was 30 seconds.
Went out in the high. I'm Geordie. Good night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
Should just drop the mic.
Obama out.
I started this joke, and then I'm gonna let you ponder it. But no,
think about it. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
You started a joke and then aborted.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
You have no recollection. You're like,
no, I started telling this joke. I don't know what point I got up to. But then I looked up and everyone's looking at me, obviously, because you're the one performing. Now, I love that, but it's just like, oh, fuck me, all these people are looking at me. But there's no bandmates up here, there's no shield with the guitar in front of you, like... I'm not a singer yet, so I only just heard myself recorded, more growling sort of thing, when my mate's band, actually these guys, Toxicon released a live album.
Mm.
And I jumped up for guest vocals on one of their songs. Right. I'd never heard myself recorded before.
So
like
the first gig you were Maverick, like cutting through the skies, and you're playing. The second gig you were Goose,
there was no
aborted, and now you're fucking dead.
Yeah, there was no volleyball scene either, but it was just like, yeah, I got up there, and I know what joke it was, but I can't tell you what bit I got up to. And
shit.
Yeah, it was just like, there's the headlight. It was like, fuck! Like, yeah.
Check you later.
But the actual fucking sentence went through my head. I don't want to listen to that. These people don't want to listen to that. And I was like, yep, see ya. It was brutal.
Keep them wanting more.
I don't think they did, because I came back about a month later and didn't recognise anyone. So no, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah, wow. And it took you a month to come back and after that, get back on the horse?
I think so. Yeah.
Holy
yeah,
shit, wow.
Yeah.
Shit, man, wow.
Only happened once, but thank fuck for that.
And Benny, what's yours? How long have you been doing comedy?
Me, I started and stopped and started. I started in, 2018, and then I had to take a break.
Wow.
And then also I wasn't doing anything that year. I was just sort of, I did this course with Australian School of fucking comedy, whatever they were called. No, that was the second time. That was the second time I wasted my money. Anyway. No, great school.
Qualified check collectors. No.
Okay,
sorry.
Tell you, take it easy. You're not an alumni, mate. When you become an alumni like us two,
I'll tell you
then
what.
you can talk.
I'll tell you what. As someone who has no training in comedy whatsoever, other than talking to people,
Who?
me.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a school and just see what happens if I got on stage.
We'll send you to school.
How many are there? Is there a few now? Every now and again something pops up on Facebook. You want to do stand-up comedy?
I'm not doing Judy Schultz's one, that's for sure. But
No, we'll send you to the hard knock knocks.
Are they?
No, we'll send you to the hard knock knocks.
I just want to see what happens. And that's not in an egotistical way of like, I don't need it.
I reckon
just
you'd
want to
hate it
see-
because there's such an adrenaline build up to the night because most people haven't done comedy before, and you get to see like a famous comedian perform with you. But you obviously, I'm assuming you wouldn't be nervous, or you'd be like, oh fuck, it'd be like a Zoom gig.
No,
It'd be fucking weird. You'd just be like,
nothing could be worse.
you
than
would
a
get
Zoom
up
gig.
and go, hey guys, how you going? And I'm Geordie, I'm fucking out. Bang.
As long as it was better than that. No, I'd just be curious to see what would happen to someone who was maybe 3 or 4 years in, who has never done any form of training other than talking to mates and, hey, that
Well,
set that you did, I liked it when you said that, but maybe try that word, like that kind of shit. Like,
Actually go to a school.
yeah, I'd be interested to see what happened.
No, look, they do show you a few good
Oh,
things,
yeah,
a lot
I-
of jokes and all that
Oh,
sort
I've got
of
no
stuff.
doubt of that.
And it's good having that intensive 3 or 4 or 5 days and then build up to,
They build a community, which is good.
Yeah.
Colts build communities as well.
Hang on, what if I go wearing this shirt?
Well, you perfect fucking fit in. No, I mean, they do good things. They get it right.
There's not as much incest in cults
So is the truth.
as there was in...
No, you've lost me there.
Oh, my mic's not working, sorry, what?
No, I can hear you. What was
No, it's not working, I can't,
Are they Tasmanian?
that?
No, I'm just taking the piss, trying out some new material, maybe maybe look at my book.
Right.
Julie's left the room, he's lost respect. Yeah, your biggest bomb, Benny?
My biggest bomb. I don't bomb. I'm from school hard knock knocks. I think we sort of just we skim. We don't bomb. We just skim.
We don't bomb, we offend.
Yeah,
They didn't
absolutely.
teach you how to talk into the mic though, so maybe.
Yeah, come back. Let me go. How's that? It's a school hard knock knocks thing. No, I've bombed a couple of times, and I bombed quite royally, but.
What are we regarding bombs? Are we regarding like a whole gig, like fuck, that was a shit 5 minutes? Or we go like
It's
a
5 minutes.
massive joke,
Person.
bang.
No.
Oh no, it could be a joke, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Well, you feel it. You just go, nah, I didn't do well there.
Yeah,
Like-
sorry, I was just clarifying the actual term. Do you
Like-
mean a gig or do you mean that a joke?
No,
Or both.
I'll say like a 5 minute set.
Yeah, right.
That you don't feel that.
Oh, okay, I
That's-
bombed earlier this year with the book. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, the book. Bombs equal books equal bombs, yeah.
Only at paid gigs.
And I think you, actually, there was an apparition in the corner. You, Geordie, you turned up as soon as I got up with the book, opened the book, you, like,
Fuck
Master Yoda, appeared in the corner, arms folded, and like, yeah, you watch this.
I'm not
Like,
saying
I'll fucking
I'm a
show you,
professional
Geordie.
or anything. I'm just saying as
And
a
then
road runner.
I fucking bombed, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And then you went, I'm fucking out of here.
Do whatever you want in a fucking open mic. I don't give a shit. That's for
Oh.
test. That's the testing grounds. That's
Mate,
the battlefield.
You got to stop hating on books.
just because I can't read doesn't mean I hate. No, I can't read. But no, like.
I'm going to bring an inside.
I'm just talking shit anyway. Let's talk about Benny's bombs.
No, it's
Benny's flats.
Fuck.
I don't think it was a bomb per se. I got a few laughs, and it was at Gorilla. I find that room fucking hard.
Yeah, right.
For me, I find it hard.
Yeah.
As in, I'm a big fella, and everybody's just there.
Laying on the ground.
And it's just like, what the fuck? How do I...
Yeah.
You know, I like to throw a few punches, you know what I mean? And it's just like, when they're so close, it's just like, oh, that's a bit intimidating. So I've got to get over that one.
Yeah.
That's my main one. That's the one I've got to get over, as in that room. You know, if I can get over that hurdle of that room, I think, yeah.
I find that with apartment. I struggle at apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the, I think I've done it 8 times, maybe 6 or 8 times. 6. I've only done well twice.
But it's a finicky crowd there, you know yourself. It's basically, once again, a shitload of comics. Well, not a shitload. Let's say between 10 to 15. We're all standing around or sitting around. Then everybody else that sort of comes there to drink or whatever
plays Jenga.
That plays Jenga. Yeah. And so that's the hard bit with that room. Like otherwise, I mean, and it's lit up like a motherfucker too.
That too. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
No, I like.
In front of a fish tank.
Yeah, I don't like to see every facial expression, but I like to be able to make eye contact, kind of thing. But that fucks me. That fucking chandelier above the bathtub. Actually, that's when I've done good there. Yeah. When the chandelier's been off. Yeah. I need to work on myself. I don't know.
Whatever you want to do tonight, that's your business, bro.
I'm a grown-ass man who pays my own.
So where can we find you on your socials and that before we call it a night?
Facebook, Twitter. I go on and off. I'm always on Twitter, but putting stuff on Twitter sometimes just fucking head fuck Twitter. People getting, oh man, you get like so much, you know, oh, I like ducks. Well, you fucking hate chickens, do you? No, I just said I like ducks, and all of a sudden, you know, like
all lives matter,
pile on happens. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That's a hard one because I do film editing as well, and I'm a bit of a filmmaker as well, and so I'm reneging a little bit on TikTok because some things just aren't funny and it gets a lot of traction. There's no setup and punchline. It's just someone doing its colour and movement, and I'm not saying it's because I'm old and boomer and I just don't get it. It's more. There's no craft to the story, and how can you? I mean, things have got to be snappy, but fucking hell, like 6 seconds can't.
What are you talking about? How much is in there?
I fucking hate violence.
They change. The fuck is that?
Oh, but I totally love when someone does something amazing physically and jumps up and edits and they cut and they've got a different costume when they land and like there's still effort in that. But when someone just gets on there and it's got 200,000 likes and I don't know if what's more confusing, the content or the 200,000 likes, and I just go, oh fuck, and I go away and I come back, and but then part of me is just like doing the Gary V thing, just going, I don't give a shit what the reaction is, just put the stuff out there. I'm doing some web series as well. It's all in COVID lockdown a bit. Doing a web series for RMI TV about homelessness. And about 2 years ago, there was a spate of on entrepreneurial young white males, entrepreneurial types getting on and trying to be Gary V and going around feeding the homeless and making sandwiches and giving them to the homeless. And I thought I sort of had this thought, like, because I had a bit of I found out I was gluten intolerant. And so I thought at that time, it's kind of perfect worlds combining, this thought popped into my head. I thought, what if some of these homeless people are celiacs? Like, you're not actually helping them.
Would you care if you're homeless? Sandwich is a sandwich at that point, I think.
I can guarantee you, every homeless person out there would not be a fucking celiac, a fucking whatever.
Well, you just eat the ham and
they
cheese
will
out of
eat
it. You leave the
anything.
fucking,
They'll take anything. I mean,
excuse me, I don't like multigrain.
yeah.
Well,
I want white.
So I thought of it like, are these entrepreneurial people, these altruistic people, helping these people who are down and out? And I thought, I don't think they are, some of them. So I've created a web series about that, and it's all about social media too. So the image that we put on social media is different to real life. So this character gives a sandwich to a homeless person, says, "I'm going to help you, brother," and films it. It's all live on Instagram and social media. And then that homeless person, still on live, he's got this idiot videographer who doesn't know, he doesn't give him warning when he's filming stuff live or just filming stuff for later on. So we see this entrepreneur be really harsh and non-empathetic, but then when the cameras are rolling, he then is the best guy in the world. And this homeless guy who he says, "I'm going to help you change your life, brother." And the homeless guy's like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you get back on your legs." He turns up at his house that later on, and his videographer's filming him live, so he can't sort of reject him, can't fob him off. He's got to accept him into his house, and then he realises, man, I could cash in on this homeless guy. So it's all going to look the style of like live videos and social media edited all together, and so hopefully it's the best thing in the world, and I'll become the next Ricky Gervais. Or I'll be back for another episode of this.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Do you need a homeless guy?
We've got a homeless guy.
I could play a homeless guy quite easily.
Right, all right. Well, I'll think about a second. A lot of it, man. I've had sickness issues with some of the cast. I've had bushfires. I've had COVID.
Oh.
Man, it's supposed to be done in June. Finished in June last year.
Oh.
And it's still, I've had to rewrite the thing. I've had to, people have moved away and just one thing after another. So it's been a challenge, but I'm still, it's still, the idea's there and it's going to get done. So I've got web series ideas, football web series, teaching Americans how to understand AFL, all sorts of stuff, getting busy. And then trying to find time to write stuff for stage. It's completely different ball game on stage, and then also video, crafting video stuff. So all the socials you can get me. Not Tinder anymore.
No.
So
taken out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh, my website as well.
Website.
www.gavin-ingham.com.
Just
I'm
Google it.
proper, man. I've got a fucking website.
Thank you for being on tonight, Gavin. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
No worries, it's been a pleasure, gents.